Eddie Ghabour with me this morning. You say weakness in financials, okay, that's a very large group of companies. You say that that weakness is an opportunity. Okay, so how would you play financials?
So there's two ways we're playing it for our clients. One way is by buying the XLF ETF, and the other is by buying JP Morgan. JP Morgan is best of breed. Jamie Dimon's one of the best CEOs on the planet. And we think this economy is going to boom over the next 12 months. And when you look at the booming economy with the deregulation this administration is going to do for financials, it's a perfect storm for them. So we're starting to broaden out our portfolios outside of the heavy weighting we have in technology. And I think there'll be more and more opportunities in the coming weeks to be able to do that, diversify, and beat the S&P in these areas.
XLB, what's that? Oh, that's materials.
That's materials.
Yeah.
So when you look around the globe, like the EU just announced, they're going to increase their spending, defense spending, from 2% of GDP to 5%. So you're going to see global demand and defense spending increase. And so we think XLB is a great way to play that. And again, another way to broaden out outside of tech. So with financials and materials, again, we think both those areas will beat the S&P over the next 12 months.
You're on the team that says we get a strong increase in the economy, strong growth in the economy, the end of this year, like maybe 3% growth in the fourth quarter. If we get that, what does it do for the market?
I think the next 20% over the next 12 months is going to be higher in the S&P. So we think the next 2 to 3%, we would expect a little bit of a pullback, and there's always going to be chop here in the seasonality. But I think you can see the S&P get to 7,500 over the next 12 months before you have to worry about any type of recession or type of bear market. So, and consensus is still on the wrong side of this market and has been, and they're going to be forced to buy dips over the next 12 months. It's going to take us much higher, in our opinion.
Will you just repeat that? The S&P 500 is now, I think, at 6209, in that range. And you think it's going to 7,500 in the next 12 months. That's a huge gain.
It is. It's approximately another 20% gain, but this is just how powerful this liquidity, and it's happening around the globe. And you look at China's market, it's catching fire. The EU's market is catching fire. The U.S. market is starting to catch fire. So you have a global increase of liquidity that's hitting the market, and people aren't respecting the power behind that. And again, when you have deregulation and tax cuts, that's just going to add fuel to this fire.
All right, we'll take it. Thanks so much indeed.